But I think what you forget is that making good choices takes experience. And as you were making mediocre choices,
You gotta get that.
that's probably my wife. Don't go away.
So, okay, so
There it is. That's all. I mean, that's it. That's all we are, folks.
oh my gosh.
That's it. It
Um,
doesn't get any better than this.
Thank you so much. Okay, so now we can jump into it. So, I first off, I really want to thank you for coming along on this journey with me. You are not dead yet. I know.
I'm not? Okay.
I know that I feel like when I started this journey, to like go to Origins with you, it was kind of under this context of like, well, we got to do something because the end's coming. We got to do something, and neither one of us go to this stuff regularly, and it was like, but so I don't really know what to expect.
And worse than that, or better than that, it's like we both realize one of the conditions is that my health is like kind of like a yo-yo. Sometimes I'm normal, and sometimes I am not worth a. And if we were down here, we were just going to stay in Houston and watch me be sick. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's about. That's all. If that's all you can do, that's all you can do. Fortunately, where I'm at the high point, I'm almost as healthy as I was before I was this healthy. Something like that. So, but it's been great, and John's been making me walk. I'll bet you I've got at least. We counted 8,000 steps yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't know we could count that high, but that's what happens when you go to college. And today it's been at least 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been great, son.
Yeah. So we, when I was thinking about this trip, it was like, okay, we got to do something. We're not getting any younger. We don't have this kind of background. Obviously, we have some kind of shared history in gaming. You did the wargaming, I did the role playing, and we're here trying to figure out what we can do together. And
well, I did some role playing.
It's true. The original Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, and I did it for years. But then you were born and kind of ruined that. Given a choice, it was worth it. I'll tell
Well, I appreciate that. So yeah.
I quit when you were born. I quit doing Dungeons and Dragons, and I quit racing sailboats. Just I didn't have the time for it anymore.
Quit drinking.
Oh, that was before. That was well before you were born. I had to be sober 5 years before your mother would let me be a father.
Wow, that's good to know.
And as you well know, she made the choice. Either you quit drinking or I'm leaving. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, well, and I made the right choice. I quit drinking.
Yeah.
And have never wanted to go back to it.
Yeah. So we did the gaming, so we had this shared history in gaming. So Origin seemed like a great fit for kind of a father-son trip. But that said, the last time he went to Origins was 1984. And so and I've never been. I've been to a couple of conventions, but nothing like this.
And this is absolutely phenomenal. I've just absolutely, what was it, 17,000 people today?
So last year there were 17,000 people at Origins. So Origins 2024, 17,000, up 10% from the year before. I don't know what the final totals are going to be for Origins 2025, but it was really packed in there.
Yeah, although it was the space was pretty big, I did not feel hemmed in. Yeah. But I had to be careful where I walked, otherwise I'd step on somebody or get stepped on. Because there are a lot of people bigger than me out there.
Absolutely. So we had this kind of game plan to come here. We didn't really know what to expect. There were a lot of kind of logistical stuff that we've talked about before. Basically, I think I mentioned in previous videos, but my dad has a PIC tube or a G tube. So
No, I'm not going to show off.
but basically it's like feeding into the stomach. Boop, boop, boop. Oh!
There it is, right there. That's you open the flag, plug in the hose, and maybe we'll do a story about it someday. Yeah, how to do this.
I mean, I think it's great. I think it's, it normalizes this kind of stuff, right? I mean, it's...
For you, man.
You're very used to it. But, I think it's, that kind of, you got that. In some ways, it's like the G-tube exists because you survived cancer.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't eat with his throat because of the radiation of the cancer, but he can still eat. And so, we still have a father, a grandfather, because of this G-tube.
And it's his fault that I'm here. When I was looking, when they were talking about we're changing the subject here, but when they were talking about putting
we can edit it in post.
Yeah, when we're talking about putting the G-tube in, I'm going, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm getting sicker and sicker as the day goes by because less and less food's going into my stomach, going and doing any good. And my lungs are filling up with rubbish. And John says, well, Dad, do you want to live?
Very important question.
And very important question. And the answer is both yes and no. I'm ready. I've said this before to everybody's problem. This is probably not new. I'm ready to go. God calls, I'm ready. And no regrets. But I have granddaughters. And I have sons. And they have wives. And I have a wife who is so important to me. And I don't want to leave them. I don't do much. But what I do is kind of important sometimes. And I've started writing stories for my granddaughters. And they put up with it. It's like, gee, grandfather, you're writing a story for us. But so I am. And it's things like that give me a reason to get up in the morning. Because frankly, I just as soon roll over and stay in bed for the rest of my life. But I got to get up and write. I've got to get up and come here. So it's his fault that I'm alive, folks.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that.
Well, put it in very stark terms.
Among many, I am very well known for my candor.
Yes. Yeah, you're a good son. You are a good son. And David is a good son too. And his children and your child, oh man, that's what it's all about for me these days. So, but coming to Origin was absolutely brand new, different things. This is so different from 1984. First off, well, I actually do remember 1984. For one thing, I read the book, and it was not at all like that. It was great fun then, and it's great fun this time. And it's really good fun to be here with my son. It's like a win, win, win.
Oh, love that. Yeah, I mean, it's so we got here, we kind of unveiled everything. We got registration done yesterday. Today was, we kind of walked around, got to do some amp guard. So I got to do the kind of hitting with the foam swords, which was a lot of fun.
That was yesterday.
Today we also kind of got a lay of the land, and we kind of saw the wargaming people, saw the Shadowrun people. I know we did cover the Shadowrun story. Let's just cover it again because I know we have better video quality here.
Oh boy, yes.
So okay, so we'll just retell that in case the earlier video quality is pretty terrible. So basically, Shadowrun is a childhood favorite of mine. It was the game that got away because the rules were so complicated that no one wanted to play with me.
Know the feeling.
And so we now they have these games called Shadowrun Missions, where at conventions and stuff like that, you can just roll in, and they'll hand you a pre-generated character, and they'll get you set up. The kind of outlines of the Shadowrun are you have a character was a backstory that doesn't really matter much. They go on a meet with other Shadowrunners to meet with a Fixer or a Johnson that sends them off on some shadow run. So go find some MacGuffin from so-and-so. And then that you do some legwork to understand a little bit about the target. You go get the MacGuffin back, and then you go meet up with the Johnson again to get paid.
And if you, for what it's worth, if you really are vaguely interested but not willing to learn to bother with the game, buy the book.
Yeah.
There are bunches of Shadowrun books, and they're all different.
Yeah, so I had, growing up playing Shadowrun like a little bit, but reading the books, the novels and stuff like that a lot. All that kind of like other kind of fiction really kind of built this world up for me. And it's kind of dystopian, cyberpunk, but with magic and elves. William Gibson reportedly hated it because he didn't want Tolkien in his cyberpunk. But Shadowrun persists. And so I have always loved the game. And so this was a fun opportunity to play with my dad. So we roll in. They hand us pre-generated characters. I pick out a street samurai. So it's an orc with heavy kind of loadout. Lots of cyberware, lots of weaponry. And you get
I get a dwarf. Now that's okay. In our family, I am the shortest person around over the age of 5. And over the age of 7, actually. And the ones that are 7 and below are actually shorter than me. But here I am, I'm short. I look up to everybody. So I'm comfortable with a dwarf. Unfortunately, John hands me a female dwarf.
You could have changed that, but you know.
Yeah, well, come on, let's be realistic. If you're a dwarf, male or female, you look alike, you act alike. You know, the big difference between a dwarf male and a dwarf female, when they're getting married, you can tell the difference. The female has a clean bowling shirt on.
Yep. There you go.
It is. There I was. Now, I didn't wear a bowling shirt. I had a kind of loose-fitting blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. You know, we went around the table, describing our characters, and my dad was in front of me, so I was like, oh, what's he going to do? And you nailed it, you know? Nailed the description.
I'm used to being a dwarf.
Yeah, nailed the description. Everybody in the table was laughing at his dwarf jokes, and it was great fun.
It was, and then John does a great job. It was always good because I could turn to my best friend. You were
yeah, okay. Character names. So you were Big Bass.
I was Big Bass,
and I was Gung Ho. So Big Bass, the dwarf close combat expert, and I was Gung Ho, the street samurai.
So I could always turn and say, is this a good idea? Should I be doing this? And as a general statement, the answer was no. Although we did get in one deal when I was trying to deal with a game.
Oh, okay. I'll give you a basic summary of the run. So we met with the Johnson. He asked us to get some information about a self-heating hot dog that was going to be released at the local Stuffer Shack, a new line of hot dog, and there's some new tech involved in the hot dog manufacturer. This is solid dystopian fiction here. And so he wanted us to get it from this dwarf, an elf. It was a elf named something. You kept making
Erlenmeyer.
So it was Erlenmeyer. And so we were trying to get this information back from them, and you know, it was just kind of like you're kind of working through it, trying to call everybody up in your Rolodex to try to get some information out of them. And, you know, we're all kind of working our contacts. And despite being the like combat expert, my dad was the one that pulled out this big switcheroo at the end just by sheer force of will.
Well, basically we walked into this room and there was the bad guy who had Erlenmeyer, and some other people who don't much matter. And I'm going, if we get into a shootout here, there's 2 of us. And I may be a world famous combat mage, but I'm going to get heated. And so I said, we're here to just talk to him, get something from him, and leave him to you. And and I didn't say that, and if we have to negotiate with him the hard way, I've got various tools that will make him miserable enough to talk to us. I didn't say that, but it was in the back of my mind. And so we talked to him, and basically he coughed up what we wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Like both of us were these kind of combat expert like characters, and the dwarf like combat, close combat expert.
Yeah, here I am
with the katana, just talked her way out of the whole fight.
Well, the thing about it was that the character had a fairly high. I mean, when
it was a con. Yeah, and you also worked with Also, we had a strong assist from another player at the table.
Yeah,
who was playing a troll face, so someone that's really good at talking. And my dad started the conversation, got the pitch rolling, and then the other character just came in to seal the deal.
What I don't understand is the troll had a good face.
Yeah.
The dwarf was doing great in terms of communicating,
and everybody else at the table was just kind of hanging out. It was great.
That's not real. Dwarves are idiots, and trolls are even dumber.
You know what? It's a new day.
It's a new day. The world
Shadowrun
changes.
2085.
Yeah, there it is.
So that was Shadowrun. So we did that, and we started walking around the gaming convention, and it's huge.
It really was. Now, this is something that's worth talking about. Yesterday, we rode the bus from the hotel up to the other end of downtown, and then it was 2 blocks?
2 blocks.
2 blocks to the 2 blocks to the
convention center.
Convention center, and I had to stop and breathe a couple of times, and today I made it from the convention center to the bus stop. This is on the way home. And after walking around the convention center all day then we got outside, walked to the bus stop, I didn't have to stop.
I know. Getting stronger.
Something like that. And tonight, after dinner, we walked about 2 blocks down the street, and I didn't stop all the way down, and I didn't stop on the way back. And I'll grant you, I'm huffing and puffing like a little puppy dog, or like a big fat puppy dog. But lo and behold, I didn't stop.
I know. It's crazy how that goes. So we have, and so here we are, like we've got, we're like 2 days in, we got 2 days to go, and I think, we've got some cool stuff planned for tomorrow. I think we've got, we've got some fun entertainment in the evening with some comedy stuff. We're going to watch some more wargaming. So this is with the actual like little pieces on the board. There's tons of cool stuff there in the vendor area. We had, there were lots of people playing games. It was just really fun overall to see all that kind of activity. Just games I didn't even know existed.
There was one game that had a tubular array, and spaceships and land were hanging from them. So it's kind of like World of Warships with the land in the middle, and you can hide behind it, except it's in 3D. And
Sky Pirates.
And you're with a bunch of gamers when some guy reaches up and pulls up a ruler and goes to get the range.
Yes.
You're with the serious gamers when they go, yep, that's 9 inches.
Yeah, that was it.
And the kid on the other end is going, oh no, I'm going to be destroyed. I'm too close.
I know. It was really fun. And he had a great attitude about it.
Yeah, I'm going to be destroyed. It's great.
I know.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
And that was just, but I've never seen a game in 3D like that.
It was so cool.
And then we saw a Panzer Blitz on a board that must have been 5 feet bigger than two sheets of plywood.
I mean, it was like, yeah, I mean, it was the size of a king size bed.
Yeah, huge board, and it's like, okay, guys, I got to see this.
Yeah.
But I didn't have time today, so tomorrow.
So we'll be back tomorrow to see it. I'm super excited to see that. So many of these games, you know, I don't know how to play them. I might not learn how to play them, but I'm gonna definitely watch them get played.
Yep, Panzer Blitz is one of them from the old days, and I want to see that guy because he's who knows what the future holds.